Let me open it first. It's called text to audio. This is script basically, I wrote it last semester because one student asked me, how could you do that in Python? In Python, how could you pass in some text file and then read the contents of it in audio, some audio file. So the Google text to search modules provide you a lot of tools to do this one. GTTS, you have to download GTTS modules or using pep install. Once you install the GTTS, which is Google text to search, then OS is built in, sys is built in. So here I'm writing a def main function, and then the language I'm using here is English. This text to search, Google text to search, provide a lot of languages: Germans, Arabic, French, English, Chinese, a lot of languages. So you could use those ones. Unfortunately, I don't think they have Persian version there. But for OS, if os.path is file, I'm looking if the file exists on the current directory where I want to read from. If the file is there, then open it for reading, then read the entire file into a data file. And then else say that if the file is, having some sort of character lining, replace the character lines there, then pass on to the GTSS method with language equal English and slow is equal false, so it doesn't read it too slow. But then the string that I'm passing it on, it creates my mp3 files out of it. With this object, I could say mp3.save. It creates a mp3 for the same file. Whatever was the input file that was giving as data file, I create an out file with that extension of .mp3 for it. And then here I'm checking whether the OS is Windows or Linux or Solaris. If it is Linux or Solaris, it's POSIX or Mac. If it is Windows, the OS name is MT for new technology. POSIX is the Linux and Mac and Solaris. So then I say, go ahead, do a system, and then open up this MPG3. If it is the command for Linux and Mac and Solaris is MPG123, but Windows is start command followed by MP3. So I run that one and then do it. The main trick is here, because what I'm doing is here says double underscore name is equal double underscore main. If this is available, the main is there, which meaning that if when this code runs in this module, as soon as it runs, it executes this one. And then it comes out with the main, then now it's going to look for the argument that are passed into the program. If the sys.argv that is less than 2, meaning that the user forgot to provide the input file, then I'm going to just say, please provide the input file. Otherwise, I'm going to pass on the argument 1 of the system and then plus.mp3 into the out file, and then I expect that code to generate the out file here. And then the end of it, the out file, this one is main sysargv1 is passed on to it. So main is right here, main is here, argv sub 1 is passed on to data file. The data file is read, and then the data file is basically read on that argument and everything. So let me just show you how this one works. Directory here, if I just want to get some information here to display something, I could do a number of ways here. So one way is say I'm going to use the echo and this is a test to see if my text to audio.py script works or not. So I could do this string, and then I could put it into a test.txt. So now type test.txt. We just created this file called test.txt, and the content of it is that. So now I'm going to run Python text to audio.py, and if I don't give any argument, it's going to tell me, please provide the input file name. Like I was telling you on the main calls that I was looking for arg sub v, arg v sub 2 is greater than arg v sub is greater than 2 or not. Sys.argv is greater than 2 or not. So here we're going to provide a test.txt. Then now it's going to generate a file called test.mp3, and it's going to use the start program to start this, and it's going to start reading it. Did you guys hear it? I'm hearing it.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So you're hearing it, that's good thing. And then now I could just go back, I could control it within this and everything. And then you could even make it more interactive to show the text here that you're reading or displayed on the screen, whatever you want. And so what is nice about this is that you could go to something on internet. So let's say, for example, you look for something like google.com, and God bless this week Maradona, the soccer player who was a superstar in the entire globe, passed away at age 60, a heart attack. And then I want to just in his memory, I want to just play some information about him. Maradona, 1986. Let's say he won the World Cup in 86 for Argentina. So I'm going to just grab this information here, and you can see like the video of him and everything. If you look at it, how great of a soccer player. The nice thing about Maradona was his passion with the ball. Every time that he was around the ball, is like him and ball fall in love with each other. Any instruction that he was giving the ball obey and followed it. And he was mastering the ball control, and then how he touched it and everything. And throughout his career, a lot of passion as a result of, if you watch a game of Maradona, you would fall in love in the game of soccer. That's how nice of a soccer player he was at the time. So I'm going to just create a file here, say notepad, say called maradona.txt, and we just put it here, that text that we grab from there. I'm gonna just cut some of this information. I think this is good enough. So just these lines. So let me save it. And now I run the program again. This is that, instead of test, I'm going to say maradona.txt, that file. And then my program is supposed to create another object called maradona.mp3 and play it. So you can see it is reading this text, and then
Maradona captained the Argentine national team to victory in the 1996 World Cup in Mexico, winning the final in Mexico City against West Germany. Maradona asserted its dominance and was the most dynamic player of the competition.
So what we are looking at here at the example that we looked, if you see a documentation, like let's say you're reading a big document that you want to understand it. Let's say you go here on the internet, say google.com, and then say JSON documentation. And then whatever you find out, you could just read that documentation to yourself, or manual pages or something. You could do that. So you could cut and paste here. As an example, let's say I say help. This is all the information that is there. I could just say send this one to help.txt, and now help.txt is there with all the help. Then I could just run my code, and instead of this information, I could say help.txt. Now all the Windows help menu, I could be sitting on the side, and it could read it one line by one line for me. But if the word, the strings are a little bit more meaningful, it is more kind of easier to understand it. So this is the help.
For information on a specific command, type help command name against SOC displays or modifies file and extension associations. A tree displays or changes file attributes. References or clears extended control plus checking. B.C.E.G.O.A.T sets properties and move database control loading.
Is reading this.
CXELS displays or modifies access control lists. The name of or changes the current directory.
So you get the idea, the usefulness of this. You could run, and then you could do move it to the end and repeat it or something. You could control it however you want. Let me stop it. So the program here is just a few lines of Python, type text to audio with certain text to audio, and then with and a few modules that are there. One is GTTS, the other one OS, and then the sys. And then the way I did with the sys, you could do the same thing with the graphic images. Like remember that file that I was doing with Paint? And so you could create a binary. You could do the same thing with sys.argv and then provide it. Notice that here I'm creating for every text file, sorry, clear the screen. And then for every file here, there's a text file and there's an mp3 file, because I did that one. So same thing with test. mp3 file got created as a result. Same thing with Maradona. So no matter how many Maradona, why didn't that one come out? There are Maradona. Maybe I named it something different. Yeah, Maradona.txt. Why didn't that one come out? Drop Mara. Oh, I didn't say M-A-R-A, I just did that. So that's why Maradona I wrote. Actually, it's Maradona. Diego Maradona. So, do you have any question? Okay, what time is it? It's 10:12. So we passed a couple of minutes from the presentation. I'm going to stop the recording and I'll be waiting for you to ask me question. If you have any question, the office hours starts now. So let me stop this one, and you're welcome to